You're not going to pick up some of that noise, are you?
Yeah, I am. Mm-hmm. All right, well, that's a much bigger. All right, so let's move this a little closer, because, hi, everybody. All right, there we go. Okay, nothing like a live video, right? Okay, well, we're waiting for everybody to join in here. We're going to get started real soon. We're still fiddling and fussing in the background. Hi, Randolph. How are ya?
This can't be played in the back. Why not?
There you go. You're live.
Okay.
This is our first time to go live with a webinar. Yay. Good afternoon, everybody. So you may have to bear with us a little bit on the background of getting everything all set up, but welcome. Glad you could make it today. Am I gorgeous? All right. So it's almost 2 o'clock. We'll give everybody a chance to kind of get in. Robert, is my camera set up good? Okay,
good.
I'm looking good, and everybody can hear me? Yay!
You're kind of far away, though.
I am kind of far away. I'm not sure why.
Can I try to move up a little bit?
Yeah, let me see if I can move up a little bit, because I know you want to see my smiling face. All right. Oh, there we go. How's that? Is that better?
No, some, but you're still far away.
I'm still far away. Am I far, far away? All right, let's see. We're going to fiddle in the background here. Let's see.
I mean, look at what they're sharing.
Yeah. Hi, Randolph.
Careful, you're right on the edge.
I'm right on the edge, aren't I? Okay.
Don't change that.
Yeah. Don't know. I think that's going to be the way it is. So as you can see that we are not professionals in terms of videography, but we are professionals in helping people become psychics, aren't we?
It's better.
Is that better? Okay, good. Good. All right. So I'm assuming that those of you who are joining us are followers of my channel. So thank you. This is going to be a casual webinar. So I'm sipping iced tea. I sip iced tea all day long. So get yourself comfortable. We're going to have plenty of time for questions and answers, but if you have some questions during the webinar, what we're going to do is Robert's right here, and he's going to write down questions, and then he's going to hand them to me. So I'm going to try to address as many questions as we can get. All right. And of course, if you have some comments, or if you like the video, make sure you give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, that would be great. We're going to be talking about the very first online course that I've created called How to Make Money Doing Psychic Readings. So I'm assuming that is of interest to you folks, and we'll be focusing on that. But we've got some other sorts of little tidbits to help you develop your psychic abilities also. And it's almost 2 o'clock. Excuse me. So if anybody is coming into the webinar and they have questions, let us know right away, because we'll make sure that we get to those at the end of the session. We do have a special going on that is exclusive to those of you who are attending this webinar. And I haven't learned how to do screencasting, so I have a sign. You can't really see it. But if you go to my website, nicerockshop.com, clairaudience.com. There's a button that says register for this course. If you'll go there, that'll take you right to the course. Okay? Can you see it? Da, da, da. More. There you go. Oops, hold on to it, Susan. So my website is nicerockshop.com, but this is where I'm hosting the actual course. It's on Thinkific, but you have to go to the Center for Metaphysical Studies .thinkific.com. So it's kind of long. We're working on the details. All right, so it is officially 2 o'clock, so we are going to get started. Welcome, everybody. I am Susan Edwards, and behind the scenes, the man behind the curtain, that's Mr. Robert Hernandez, also known as my wonderful spouse. Hey, is it 25 years this year?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, we got a 25 coming up. I'm so excited. But we're not talking about that today. We're talking about how to make money doing psychic readings. And I'm very excited because I finally got my act together and got an online course. Okay, all right. So we have a first question here. How do I crystallize your third eye or your aura? Okay, well, we'll get back to those questions. Thank you very much. So this is how it's going to work. I'm going to go through these items here for the webinar. We're going to have plenty of time for questions and answers at the end. We're going to give you a special code. I'm going to tell you who I am and give you some testimonials. And then you can make up your own mind as to whether or not you'd like to take it a little farther and actually register for the course. I'm hosting it on the platform called Thinkific. Turning out to be a great platform. So if you decide to take the course, let me know what you think of that platform, because this is my first course. So what we're going to do today, the subject of this webinar is, how do I make money doing psychic readings? They can't read that? Okay, well, it says how to make money doing psychic readings. Is it because it's too far away?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So the first agenda item that we're going to talk about today is, how do I know if I'm even psychic? And then the second thing we're going to cover is, how do I overcome my fears? And what will I learn if I take your course? And how do I get started in general? And then we'll do some questions and answers. We're going to spend about an hour on the webinar. If it's popular, I'll probably do another one with a focus on a different subject. But let me tell you a little bit about who I am and what we're doing. So first of all, I'm Susan Edwards, and I am a psychic medium. I'm a light worker. Let's see, what else am I? I'm a licensed spiritual Reiki. I'm a licensed spiritual healer coach, Reiki master. I have studied pranic healing. I do sound healing. I'm certified in Ho'oponopono to both to teach it and to give lessons. I am a Christian ordained minister, self-ordained. I'm an author. I'm a facilitator. I'm a YouTube creator. I'm a light worker. Whew. And my husband and I co-founded and started the Rock Shop, which is a physical store, and then the Center for Metaphysical Studies. And that's where we have classes. And we haven't really had classes for a year because of the pandemic restrictions, but we're going to start again. But in the meantime, what I wanted to do is put out some of my courses online. So that's what this is. All right, so keep those questions coming. But let's get started first with how do I even know if I'm psychic? You know, and like I said, we have a brick and mortar store, and we have lots of customers who walk in the door. And I cannot tell you how many times someone will hit the door, they'll pause, and I can tell by the look on their face that they're pretty stressed out. And then all of a sudden the waterworks, and we're like, oh! And it's like, oh boy, we got another one. And you know, I give them a minute. If it's appropriate, I give them a little hug. And when they settle down, you know, I say, what's up? And they go, you're going to think I'm crazy. Because, you know, they see things. They hear things. They know things that nobody around them sees, hears, or knows. And they have been told over and over and over by friends and by family that they're crazy. And so they've started to believe it, and they get very stressed out about it. And some of them are going through their own awakening, so they're seeing and hearing even more. And it's just a perfect storm of stress and anxieties and fears, because what's happening to them can be very frightening. And so we take I have them take a nice deep breath, and 99 out of 100 times, once in a while we do get somebody who is legitimately a little off, but most of the time what's happening is psychic. And trust me, folks, it's more common than you think. So I say to these people, if you think you're a psychic and you're seeing and hearing these things, there's a better chance that you are psychic rather than that you're not. And chances are that you have been seeing and hearing and knowing things since you were a little pup and nobody around you believed you, which can be very stressful, and it can be very hard on your self-esteem. And it can be very frightening, especially if you're a physical medium. So what's a physical medium? A medium is someone who communicates with, and see if you can find me again. Hey, sorry for the interruption. Nothing like the internet, right? So I hope I'm back online. Thanks for sticking with me if you stuck with me, and thanks for joining us if you're just joining us. We were talking about whether or not you were crazy or you were psychic, and how do you know the difference, and what exactly are the psychic skill sets? So let's talk about those for just. So there are a couple of different kinds of main skill sets. And by the way, this is something that you will learn in the course. The first one, and this is one of my favorites, it's called psychometry. And psychometry is the art of being able to derive information from touching something or picking up the frequencies from something. So if I would hold, for example, your watch, I would pick up vibrations and frequencies from that and be able to divine some information from those frequencies. So when you touch things, do you pick up frequencies? If you do, and when I say frequencies, it could come in terms of images or just kind of a knowing. And if that is something that happens to you, you likely have the skill set of psychometry. Okay, did you find me again, Mr. Hernandez? Excellent, okay. All right, so the next one is, I call it the clairs. So clairaudience. This is where you hear things. This is your voices in your head, folks. And they are voices that most of the human population isn't really going to hear, but if you are tuned into the psychic and you have some skill sets, you're probably hearing some things. And it's clear that it's not your thinking, it's you're hearing voices. I hear the voices of angels and my spirit guides and those that I work with in the higher realms. So on your piece of paper, make a note, do I hear things? And just kind of, and you can tell by your language, okay? Oh, I hear things when I'm doing my cards, or I hear things, okay? The next one is clairsentience. And clairsentience is the ability to feel energy, so that when you, it's kind of tied into psychometry, when you go and you touch something, you just know. You can feel the energy. I feel energy, and to be honest with you, it's a skill set. It is something that if you would like to learn how to feel energy, you can teach yourself this skill set. So you don't have to be born with this particular skill set. So clairsentience is being able to feel energy, okay? Claircognizance, this is the intuitive knowing. And you just know. You know in your heart. You know that this person is reaching out to you. You just know that just solid, there's just no question in your mind. That's claircognizance, okay? So is that one of your skill sets? Clairvoyance. Oh, this one can get you into trouble because this is where you see things. And, if most of the people around you are not seeing things and hearing things, and then all of a sudden you are, yeah, I can see where they would be disconcerted about, what's going on with Susan. So clairvoyance is the ability to clearly see things. Animal communication. Dr. Dolittle. Okay, could you really, look, I don't care if you are the most ardent skeptic on the planet. If you have a pet, you talk to your pet and you know that they have a personality and you're communicating. So animal communication is really quite common, but I'm talking about an elevated ability to really connect with the animal kingdom. All right, so is that one of yours? Mark it off. Mediumship. This is another one that can be very problematic. This is where a medium is able to connect with the dead and the departed, and sometimes interdimensional beings, aliens or ETs. They can communicate with the Fae realm, elementals. So they often, and again, as a child, this can be very unsettling. So if you have a child that has this ability, you need to really work with them so that they don't get too traumatized by it, because it can be pretty overwhelming even for adults. Okay, so are you a medium? Okay, and there's a couple different kinds of mediums. Mediums that see things, and then mediums who feel things. That's known as a physical medium. So there's a little subtle difference, but a medium is something that I also am. And then there's the empath. And empaths, it's different than having empathy. Empathy, hopefully as a species, we all have empathy for one another. I mean, if you see somebody who's hungry or hurt or, thirsty, you stop and you help them. You give them something to eat. You give them a glass of water. But an empath is born that way. You either are an empath or you're not. And an empath is someone who is highly sensitive to the frequencies, especially of other people, especially their emotions, okay? They are big-hearted people. They tend to be frontline workers in the service industries. They're firemen, they're nurses. They're the people who care for and take care of pretty much everybody else, because they want to save the world, okay? Because they're such big-hearted people, and they feel your pain, literally. So a highly sensitive person or an empath. All right? And honestly, most of us are more than just one thing. And I tend to think that all of us who are psychic are empaths. So those are some of the main skill sets. So if you've been making notes, so how many, just put down in the comments then, how many of you feel that you have at least one or more of these psychic skill sets, okay? So Robert, how many people are saying they got it? Nobody yet? All right. Well, keep marking down whether or not you've got some of those skill sets. All right, so the next thing that comes up is, well, how do I overcome my fears? And honestly, a lot of times these are created when you were young, because likely you were psychic at some level when you were just a pup. And maybe those in the family and even your friends, they're not, and they did not understand what was going on with you. And so they were very critical and said things like, "What's wrong with you? You're crazy. You're bad. You're evil. You're not of the light. You're not of God." And so you didn't know any better. And so you created a lot of fears about your own gifts. And they weren't your fears. They were fears that were imposed on you. So in this little section, and we talk about this in the course quite a bit, on your notepad, write down, well, what am I afraid of? And it could be just as simple as, I'm different than other people, okay? And the thing about fear, if you break it down, fear is either real or it's imagined. If it's imagined, it's false evidence appearing real. And so if you were berated as a child and told that you were bad or evil and, you were crazy, and you grew up with that, that's false evidence appearing real. That is an imagined fear because it's not true. It's not true. You are not crazy. You're psychic. You're different. Yes, you're you're different. But that does not make you crazy. And so on your paper, write down your biggest fear and then indicate, is it real or is it perceived? Now, there are real fears, okay? And I have worked with my angels and my spirit guides to not be afraid when things manifest. Now, I might be startled, but that's different than being afraid, okay? So when you were a child and you saw things, they were probably pretty fearsome in some cases. So now as an adult, you can look back and say, well, okay, now that I know I'm a medium and I can see dead people, it was just someone who'd already passed over and was looking for help. So that's, again, that's sort of an imagined fear. A real fear is harm or dark. Those are not good places to go. And the stuff that hangs out of all those around is physically threatening you, or you need to move emotionally because that's not an emotion. There we go. All right. Hey guys. Hate that when it happens. Sorry about the apparently our bandwidth here isn't all that great. So like I said, it's our first live webinar. Obviously, this bandwidth needs to be fixed. But we were talking about fear, so let's get back to fear. Whether or not it was real or perceived, how do I overcome it? You've already started. Because once you identify that you do have a fear, and whether or not it's real or perceived, now you can make some strategy. If you are physically being threatened, well, then you need to move physically. If you are emotionally being threatened, then you need to work on bringing your emotions up, out of anger or frustration or fear. So jealousy, loathing, all of those low emotions, those are not healthy and they're not safe. And you need to recognize them but bring them up. And then spiritually, if you're working in areas that are dangerous, you need to move. You need to move out of those areas and get back to the light. So that's what we're going to cover in the class, in the course, if you decide to sign up. Speaking of the course, it is about 36 lessons, about 2.5 hours worth of videos. They call them talking head videos, so you'll see mostly me. I don't know, there's about 6 or 7 quizzes and surveys. There's a number of downloadable print-on-demand bonus videos. We talk about personal protection. I put everything that I talk to all of my psychics here, I put it in the course, and it's a full course. I would suspect it would probably take you, how long did it take you to get through it, Robert? About 6 hours?
Yeah.
About 6 hours to get through it. It's completely self-paced. And I don't force you to do all the videos. So if there's a video, I don't really need to look at that one. You can move around as much as you want to. So the course is $149. But if you're on this webinar with me, we're doing a special code. There it is. Okay, and the code is webinar. Aren't I clever? And that will get you $75 off. A little bit more. There we go. All right, can you see it? All right, so what it says is the Center for Metaphysical Studies .thinkific.com. Or you can use my website, nicerockshop.com, and there's some links there if you don't want to write that whole thing down. But the code to get you $75 off of the $149 price is webinar, WEBINAR, webinar. And that will get you in, because I'm only doing $50 off of just the intro ones. That's just for you guys, just for you. All right, so let's see, what else are we going to cover today? What would I be learning in the course? Well, we talked a little bit about that. You're going to learn the tools, what tools might be good for you. What do you really need to get started? What are the ethics? And how to overcome your reluctance to charge people for doing psychic readings. Look, if you take this course or you are a practicing psychic, you are providing a spiritual counseling. And people need it. Oh my gosh, people are looking for help and guidance right now. There are a lot of hurting people out there, and mainstream isn't connecting with them. So they're looking for some of these alternative ways to get answers in their life and to turn their lives around and to, really feel good about themselves. And so a psychic reading can make all the difference. And we do psychic readings here at the store all day long. And let me tell you, people come down with tears in their eyes because they've gotten an answer. So have you ever had somebody come in and do something for you? Fix your appliance, or mow your yard, or trim your tree, or clean your house, or do any kind of service that you really needed or wanted? Yeah. Did they do it for free? I doubt it. Okay. And there needs to be a balance in the exchange of energy. Okay. So if you're always giving and not receiving, that's not sustainable. And so get over it. You need to charge for your time. Here's how Spirit explained it to me. I cannot charge for the reading because the message is from the divine through me to the client. The message is not mine to sell. However, my time and my expertise are mine, and I can charge for my time. So if I spend a half an hour with a client, I can't charge them for the message, but I can charge them for 30 minutes of my time. And so once I really got that, okay, all right, that made sense. Because the message really wasn't mine to sell, but my time is. And so I have a lot of new psychics that come on board and they're like, oh, I just want to give it away for free. I just want to help people. Okay. Well, first of all, we all want to help people, and I want you to help people. But look, your time is valuable. Your time, you need to have healthy boundaries. If you're going to do this other than just for, grins, if you want to make a side hustle out of this, you need to charge for your time. A lot of people are, well, how much should I charge? It's up to you. But typically here at the store, we charge about $1 a minute plus $5. So if it's a 20-minute reading, it's $25. Okay, that's just a rule of thumb. You charge however much you feel comfortable with. Should you ever give a reading away? Yep, you certainly should, especially when you're practicing. But you should not be just giving away your time, because that says a couple of things. First of all, you're saying to yourself, I'm not worth it, and I'm not worthy, and my skill set isn't really there. And those are not the right kinds of messages to be giving to yourself or to your clients. Okay. So we talk a lot about that in the course. And by the time you get done with the course, you should be over that. If you're not, we need to talk. All right, let's see. And then how do I get started? Well, a lot of you are probably already doing some psychic readings, and that's wonderful. Hopefully, if you're already doing some readings, I hope you enroll in the course, and you can always learn more and pick up at least a tidbit or two. Especially around the personal boundaries and how to protect yourself and your family and your business, because there are some people who will take advantage of you. So we talk a lot about protection. We talk about how to do the reading and how to dress your table and where to do the reading. And, so we cover a lot of that. But I guess the answer to that is create a sacred space, even if it's just, this big. Just create a space where you're going to do your readings, and study. Read the books. There's plenty of YouTube content. I've got a lot of content on my channel. We've got this course that I'm talking about. So there's a lot of places where you can go to get more information, and then I'd like to do, for example, who wants me to do a tarot reading from you? You will have enough people that will be able to help you. Okay. All right, and Robert said I'm getting lots of questions here, so let's do some of the questions, all right? So I'm going to try to take them a little bit in order. How do you crystallize your third eye or your aura? I'm not quite sure what you mean by crystallize, but I think what you might mean is how do you activate your third eye and see things through your third eye? Your third eye, for those of you who don't know it, is located approximately in the middle of your forehead, and it's our intuitive chakra. It's our energy center where we can see psychically. We may not see it with our human eye, but we can see it psychically. And so to activate your third eye, the best way to do that is through meditation and getting quiet. And then understanding, and I like to use the visualization that it's like a window with one of those old-fashioned pull-down blinds, because quite frankly, once you start seeing things psychically, there are some things you may not want to see all the time. So you might want to bring the blind down. So your visualization would be to bring the blind down when you don't want to see it and put it up when you do. Okay. In terms of your aura, you always want to keep your aura clear. You do that through your lifestyle, through healthy thinking, healthy speaking, healthy eating, healthy habits. You can smudge, take salt baths, salt scrubs, and hanging around with people who are upbeat. So I hope that answers that question. So the next question was, this course cover how to control clairvoyance and what you are seeing? Well, funny, you should just say that. You can certainly use your blinds. And, especially if you're a medium, and a medium, again, is someone who speaks to dead people. The dead and spiritual and people and entities and, ghosts, the time does not function the same way in spirit. So while it might be 2 a.m. for us and we're trying to get some sleep, it is irrelevant to spirit. And so if you do not have healthy boundaries, you will be bombarded by spirit all hours of the day or night trying to get your attention because they're looking for help. And so in the course, yes, we absolutely talk about setting your business hours. So if you go into business making money as a psychic reader, you're going to want to set hours, just like you would on a regular job. So if I was going to go to work for John Doe, making blue widgets, he'd have me there Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Okay, those are my business hours. Unless there's an emergency, I don't expect John to call me at 2 o'clock in the morning on Saturday night. So the same with your spiritual business. Yes, you can control by setting your hours and then enforcing them, because just like, if I got an unruly boss, hey, I'm calling you at 2 o'clock in the morning. Sorry, I'm not doing business today. You'll have to come back when I'm on duty. Okay, so I hope that answers that question. That was for Beth. All right, another one from Beth. What makes your course different from the others in the psychic development and writing and working with angels? Well, I would say that I've been a psychic for 45 years, and that is my business. I mean, we are a rock shop. I am a course creator. I'm a YouTube channel creator, and I work with, how many psychics do we have? 10? We have 10 psychics, and so I coach all of them. And it's just from my point of view. So what makes mine different? It's me. But that's what makes everybody's difference. It's whoever is doing the teaching is going to have just a little bit of something that's going to be able to help you. I think it's very content dense, meaning I put a lot of stuff in there. I'm a light worker, which means that you're only going to work with the highest for the highest good for yourself and for those around you. So if you, and quite honestly, Beth, if you're not satisfied with the course, there's a 100% guarantee. So if you're not happy, you get your money back. Okay? I hope that answers your question, Beth. All righty. Got a couple of thumbs up. All right, Randolph, letting others know something about can you remember what that one was? Something about perceived as being better than others?
About fear.
Oh, about fear. Okay, that was Randolph's fear. So Randolph's fear was, so they are thinking that Randolph is better than others. Yeah, I mean, it's just like any skill set. If I was a master craftsman in some particular area, there are going to be people who are going to be jealous because, I can paint, or I can play the piano better, or I can sing, and they can't. And a lot of it is going to be on you, Randolph, and on ourselves. Is we're not better than them. We're just different. Okay, we can hear radio dials at a different frequency than they can, and it doesn't make us better. It doesn't make us, any better than them or any worse than them. It just makes us different. So, yeah, that's, and along those lines, Randolph, when I really embraced this path, I lost some friends, and my life changed. And there will be people who can't go down this path with you. And only you can answer the question whether or not that's okay. I made a commitment to the divine and to God to do His work here on earth, and so I didn't really have a choice. But only you can make up that decision. So you're not better, but it can cost you some relationships. So be prepared. All right, so this is from Beth again. Does my course cover how to control what you see or hear? I think we've talked a little bit about that, Beth. It's part of your healthy boundaries, and boy, do I talk a lot about that in the course. Human people, healthy boundaries with the spiritual realm also. It's your business. So if you don't want to engage with a particular spirit or entity, say no and mean it, and some will be persistent, just like humans can be very persistent. No, still a complete sentence. So we do talk about that. I think one of the main things that I teach is healthy boundaries. And so, yeah, we definitely talk about that. All right, so this is, are there repeatable video webinars? Yeah, you can, once you've signed up for the course, Joe, you can go back and watch it as many times as you want. So you can take your time, it's self-paced, you can go through it as you need, or you desire, or you have the time to do it. And then it's there, it's yours, so you can go back and reference it anytime you want. So you might, like after a couple months, go back and, well, now what did she say about this? So you can go back and then review it. Okay, great question, thank you. All right, Raynette, I'm interested but do not hear or see things, but I do feel and sense things. Yes, absolutely. So the course is really about, well, let me, I'm not going to teach you how to be a psychic, because you already are a psychic. We're going to identify your skill sets and identify what tools are going to work for you, and I'm going to help you build the infrastructure you can create a wonderful income. And while we're talking about income, let me tell you, I worked with Christina, and she actually is one of our psychics here at the store. And when I first met Christina, she's a physical medium and a psychic, and she was in complete denial about it. So through coaching and teaching, she really came to know that this is a skill set, because she was one of those people who grew up being bombarded with, you're crazy, you need to be on meds. And they weren't kidding, okay, coaching, that she recognized she's not bad. She's people. And I'm like, gave her this about, well, this is a service and your time is worth it. So she got over it. Guess what? Now she's been working for us for about a year and a half or 2 years now. She went from, I'm crazy, I'm no good, and I can't charge, to she makes $800 to $1,000 a week. I know, I did not misstate that. $800 to $1,000 a week doing psychic readings. Some of it she does here at the store, but she also does remote readings with people over the phone, or via Skype or FaceTime or however, that video chat kind of stuff. And she has become very successful. She said she's going to Florida this year because of it. They're remodeling their backyard because of it, okay? And so she went from 0 to $1,000 a week in less than 2 years. Can that work for you? That's up to you, my darlings, but it's possible, all right? Okay, let's see here. This is from Beth again. Hi, Beth. How is it assessed and on what is the difference between I'm working with angel and working with angels? Well, I do have a certification. I'm not quite ready to release that yet. When you go through the course, you'll get a certificate of completion, but you won't be a certified medium or psychic just yet, because I'm not quite ready to do that. But if you decide you want to do that, that would be a side course, and you would be assigned some other curriculum and then a practicum, and then we would work a little bit more on your actual psychic development. Again, this is more of an infrastructure course. This is for someone who wants to start the business but doesn't quite know how to do it safely, and how much to charge, and where to start, and what are the ethics around it, okay? I hope that, and you keep asking what's the difference. Well, the difference is that it's me. And so my experience is what you're going to get. Not that it's any better or not as good as the other people, it's just it's different. I can only come from my worldview, and so I'm going to tell you, okay? So I work with these entities on a daily basis. So that's what, Beth has a lot of questions. All right, Beth, do you give feedback during the course? I don't at the moment. Fits today. Do I give feedback? I don't. Okay. Well, I don't know about you. Just lost connection for a little bit. Fix this problem. All right. So I think this is the internet gods telling me that it's time to stop this webinar because I'm having trouble with my internet. So again, if you want to go to nicerockshop.com, they'll have a link. Register now. That'll take you right to the course. Use the code webinar. You'll get $75 off. Webinar. Okay? And that'll get you $75 off. That's good through the 15th. So if you're going to do it quick. I hope you guys learned something. It was great. Sorry about all the technical problems. We'll get them.